about that mile high magic. You can feel it in the air, in the altitude. Feel it when you can't breathe.
Life in a barrel. Life in a barrel. Life in a barrel.
What it do to Broncos country, and welcome to the number one source for Broncos news, takes, and opinions. This is Life in a Barrel. Inspired by the legacy of the late Broncos superfan Tim Barrelman McKernan, we seek to give you raw, educated, unfiltered Denver Broncos news and opinions only superfans can deliver. I'm your host. I go by the name of Town. Joining me every week, my partner in crime. Please welcome Tariq Hatchet Young to the show. Reek.
What it do, Broncos country?
Hey, what they gonna say now,
What
man?
they gonna say now? Because we the number one seed. We finished the season strong. What more?
Yes,
do you
we
need to
did.
say?
Hey, we finished a lot stronger, man. If you would have told us that at the start of the season that the Broncos were going to be 14-3 and the road to Super Bowl 60 now goes through Denver, what would you have said, man?
I honestly thought at the beginning of the season we'd have at least 12, 11 wins. I wasn't expecting 14. 14?
Yeah, like me personally, I was more along the lines of we're probably going to be like 9-8. That was kind of like my realistic idea of what this season was going to be. But to be 14-3 and the number one seed, now granted, we are the most hated number one seed that you could imagine right now. But that's what these playoffs are for, to prove everybody wrong, right?
Exactly. You know, we've had our fair share of haters out there, especially Alex Smith, talking about we're the least dominant number one seed he's ever seen.
Alex Smith is just mad that he was like horrible against the Broncos.
I think he's mad because he choked against the Colts when he is a Kansas City Chief, but to each of his own.
To each his own, man. But we're going to talk about what we expect from the crowd during these playoffs, man. This mile-high crowd finally getting some playoff football in the first time in a decade.
Crazy fans. I know they got to have a bag because I already been seeing tickets is already over $1,000, especially in the high nosebleed seats. But you know, we're gonna bring it. Broncos country always brings it, especially in the playoffs. They're gonna be loud. They're gonna be rowdy. They're gonna give you hell.
And I think it's going to be a different level than even we're expecting because, like I said, this is the first time in a decade that we've had playoff football in the Mile High City. So we need to make sure that we bring that energy that Broncos country is loud and proud and ready to roll on Sunday or next Sunday.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Sean Payton's already been impressed with it for the last two home games. He said that Bronco country been loud and proud about it. It's given a playoff atmosphere, so we can only go higher now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can only go higher. Speaking of higher, man, how's the altitude going to factor into this?
You know, they're going to be on that sideline. Oxygen.
They're going to be needing one of these.
Exactly. They're going to feel a little wheezy, if you feel me.
Yeah, they definitely the altitude is no joke, man. You see somebody make a long punt return, a long play, the first thing they're doing is running over and grabbing that oxygen mask and like athletes know, man.
Every time. It don't matter who you are. Even Von Miller, our own Bronco, he was sitting there on the sideline with the oxygen. So it just don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, this number one seed did not clinch itself. We're gonna talk about this matchup, this 19-3 victory against the Chargers B team. Let's see. Denver set the tone early at home after the Chargers went 3-and-out on the opening series. Broncos answered with a long 15-play, 81-yard drive, but had to settle for a Will Lutz field goal to make it 3-0. Big swing came late in the first when Trey Lance was picked off by Jaquan McMillan. Took it 45 yards the other way for a Broncos touchdown, making it 10-0 Denver. From there, it turned into a field position battle. Chargers struggled to finish drive, but managed to get on the board right before halftime with a Cameron Dicker field goal to cut it to 10-3. In the third quarter, Denver finally sparked the offense with a 27-yard strike from Bo Nix to Evan Ingram, setting up another Lutz field goal to extend it 13-3. Turning point came in the fourth on defense. Nick Bonito strip sacks Trey Lance, and Denver recovered deep in Chargers territory, leading to yet another Will Lutz field goal to make it 16-3. Broncos added one more field goal on a late drive to make it 19-3. Chargers threatened late. It didn't quite go that well. We got another field goal, 19-3 win with the offense being kept out of the end zone. How you feeling about that, Reek?
I think a lot of people are going to be mad that I say this, but I'm just glad we got out the game healthy. 19-3, I'm okay with it. I know the one thing I've said all years, the long drives and only getting a field goal, that's the only thing I'm upset with. But other than that, we did what we had to do. We got out the game healthy. It kind of scared me when Garrett Bowles went out, but he came back in.
Definitely. Yeah, I was happy to see Ballsy come back in when he got injured, especially a leg injury, man, for an offensive tackle. That's a scary thing. But really, I point back to what I said last week was going to be the X factor of whether or not the Broncos even win this game, and that was going to be Sean Payton's play calling. There's a real possibility that we could be facing the Chargers in the playoffs. So I could imagine he was not trying to open that playbook at all. I think we were running a damn near preseason level defense or play calling, excuse me.
Yeah, we kept it very simple, and I've seen the comments too on it. Everybody giving us shit with us being cool with the limited play calling. In those situations, especially as a football fan, you got to expect it. Why are we going to show a bunch of film so somebody can see on us? Like they get a whole 2 weeks to watch film on us basically if they win their game. So they're like, oh, this is what they're going to do. No, limit it. Don't show them too much so they don't know what to expect from us. And like I said, we're the underdogs. We've been the underdogs all year, so let's keep the mentality.
No, we're adopting what Bo says. We're overdogs now.
Overdogs is right.
I agree with not putting everything that you have out there in a Week 18 game against somebody that you might be playing, and that's the exact reason that Jim Harbaugh pulled his players, because he didn't want Denver to have too much on them, just in case they played.
Exactly.
Like their playoff position was already secured. They were playing for nothing. So they just pull everybody, get Justin Herbert ready for the playoffs. That was their mentality. But again, I have to ask the question, like, if you're withholding this much, how are we sure that this is going to work in game?
And that's a great question. I'm hoping that if we're going to put the offense basically on a leash in the last game of the year, we got to come out firing, guns blazing, especially in the division round. First play of the game, first drive of the game, we got to let them know that we're here and we're not playing around.
Yeah, but I would even argue that that leash wasn't on just during Week 18. It was on all year.
Yeah.
Sean Payton has been just holding his cards very close to his chest this entire year, and he's very cautious about what he puts on tape. But when he does try new stuff, it really doesn't seem to work that well, which is why I asked the question, are you sure this team is prepared to do this new stuff in game? Because practice is one thing, but the second that it's a defense game planning to stop you, it's a whole different story.
Exactly. Depending on the defense as well, because there's going to be a great chance where we can play the Chargers again. There's going to be a great chance where we play Houston again. Houston hasn't forgot about that loss.
Yeah, we definitely go get into the playoffs, but before we do, we need to figure out Reek's Mile High Dog of the Week.
The moment everybody been waiting for. My Mile High Dog of the Week. Go to Mr. Jaquan McMillan. Had the pick six. He came ready to play. He got the pick six in the game to help the defense. I think it motivated the defense. We got we got more and more hungry after that. We got aggressive. We out there making plays. Shout out to Jaquan McMillan. He earned it. My Mile High Dog of the Week.
Mile High Dog of the Week, Jaquan McMillan, baby. That was an incredible play. Yeah, he definitely brought some energy that the defense fed off of for the rest of the game. And that was just chef's kiss.
Been firing on all cylinders all year. He been playmaking. I know some people, they were expecting Barron to take his spot, but he been fighting for his role.
Yeah. He ain't willing to roll over and just take it. Honestly, we'll talk about what that might mean in the offseason. Again, congratulations, Jaquan McMillan, Mile High Dog of the Week. Mile High salute to you, sir. But Reek, playoffs are here, man, and it's time to put up
Or shut up.
or shut up. And a lot of people have been calling us frauds all year. Frauds all fucking year. Now is the time. Now is the time that we back it up. But before we play a game, we have to let the playoffs kind of settle out. We have 4 opponents that we could possibly be playing in 2 weeks in the AFC divisional round. They'll be coming to Mile High. And what we're going to do is we're going to give a small breakdown of each game, give opinions, and at the end, we will give an ideal matchup and a worst case scenario matchup. First matchup that we're going to be talking about, we were just talking about them, the bitch ass Chargers.
Ugh.
If the Chargers beat New England, they're coming to Denver. That's the matchup.
Yep.
That's the matchup. They're coming back to Denver. And we get this. By the way, I got a timeout. Tony Jefferson, you're a bitch. No one in Denver likes you either, homeboy. Get that straight.
Sitting there crying and shit. Man up. Come on, bro. Sitting there
JL
complaining.
Skinner, you better have checked your boy.
Sit there crying. Like, just take your L and move on.
Take your L with your freshman team and get back to the fucking locker room, bro. Just it is what it is.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
You better hope you make it out of New England this week, because you come back here, we on your ass.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing I will say, if there is any team that's prepared to come to Mile High and get a win, it's the fucking Chargers, man. These divisional opponents know you bet as bad as much as you know yourself.
They do. But I personally think, that the Chargers just aren't playoff. They're just not playoff ready in my eyes.
I mean, the saying is Chargers are going to Charger. So that comes for a reason. But you know, one thing I will say is Jim Harbaugh is an incredible coach.
Most definitely.
He is an incredible coach, and he was going to have his team ready for a slugfest. They're a tough team. They're going to be in any game that they play in, and I think they have their hands full with New England.
Oh yeah,
but it's no one's seen Drake May play playoff football. No one knows how he's going to perform. So it's again one of those things where I believe Jim Harbaugh's defense is going to have a game plan ready for a rookie or a second year quarterback. Excuse me.
Almost definitely. I think the only thing that the Chargers are going to have a problem on their hands with is how many weapons New England has on that team. So if the passing isn't going to work for New England, they still got 2 incredible backs.
They do have incredible backs, so I'm a circle back to Tony Jefferson. Hey, Tony, you want that rematch with Denver? You gonna have to step up against New England. You're the X factor, sir.
Sheesh. Accept the challenge.
But all right, we're gonna move on to the next matchup, and that would be a playoff rematch from last year, except this time with the Bills coming to Denver. How do you feel about this one, Reek?
It's a tough one because it's Josh Allen. You could never count out Josh Allen. I know offensively they've been kind of in a weird space, but they do have a great running game. So that's the one thing to worry about. But also, Josh Allen extends plays just like Patrick Mahomes. So you got to be able to get pressure and get home. So that's going to be a tough one too, I think.
Yeah. Well, no one gets home more than the Broncos defense. So there's that. And they also do a pretty good job against the run. At least they did, the first 2/3 of the season. But I think this would be a statement game for the Broncos. Again, you can't count out Josh Allen. He's in every play, in every game. He's the ultimate X factor. But when I say this is a statement game, I mean that the Broncos would literally just be making the statement that you whooped our ass in the playoffs last year. It's time for us to return the favor to you.
Oh, definitely. And it would prove to the NFL media and everybody in the league that we're here. We're not messing around. We're here to do what we got to do. We're here to capture the Lombardi.
But you already know how the NFL media is going to frame it. It's all about this entire playoffs is going to circle around Josh Allen, and it's finally his moment.
Oh yeah, Yeah, because Lamar's out, Joe Burrow's out, Mahomes is out. They're gonna say it, but then as soon as he loses, they're still gonna be like, "Oh, he's a great quarterback and everything." They don't keep the same energy that they give Lamar to him. Every
Yeah. Oh
time
no,
they
not at
they
all.
they hold Lamar accountable, talking about, "Oh, it's his fault they lost, this and that." But as soon as Josh Allen loses, "Oh, he'll be back. It's his if it's offensive line, his receiver's fault." They never give him the blame.
They also have a big test in front of them to even get to this point. They're gonna have to go and knock off Jacksonville, man. Do you see that happening?
I I I just don't think it's gonna happen just because Jacksonville's offense is just on fire right now. They are completely rolling. If Trevor Lawrence comes out and plays the way he played against us, no doubt they're winning.
Yeah. And it's ironic the way that people talk about Josh Allen. Trevor Lawrence has had just about the same amount of playoff success as Josh Allen has.
They forget about Trevor Lawrence, former
Yeah.
number one overall pick. He a dog.
Yeah.
He a dog. He finally got the coaches and the players around him to establish their team.
Well, let's go ahead and get it on to matchup number 3. And this would be another rematch from earlier in the season. The Houston Texans would be coming to Denver. And that's, my friend, I think is probably the toughest of the 4.
Definitely the toughest. You're playing against technically the number one defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They're Derek Stingley, Will Anderson Jr., nothing but dogs on that team. They're hungry. You see how they played against the Chargers too. Offensively, they got to get rolling a little bit, but if their defense has confidence and making a bunch of stops, eventually the offense adjusts and does what they got to do. So that's definitely gonna be a tough game for us, I think, as well.
I agree wholeheartedly. And you know they'd be wanting their get back from earlier in the year. Like we didn't win against them in convincing fashion. Like we kind of squeaked by, and that was after CJ Stroud got hurt because he was lighting us up before
Yeah,
that.
it was not pretty. We were getting torched until he got that concussion.
Mhm.
Even Davis Mills came in and was giving us problems too.
Yeah, he definitely was. I've noticed that the all the backup quarterbacks that we faced this year, they've all given us help. That's of course that's a little concerning. But I mean, we're not dealing with backups here. We're dealing with CJ Stroud. We're dealing with Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, like you were talking about, man. This defense and this team is loaded with talent, man. And if there's anybody that can come in, it could be them too.
Exactly. They're hungry. They're a young, hungry team that wants to prove why they belong in the playoffs.
They have a challenge in front of them in even getting to this point, and that would be beating Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, they edged it out barely the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers discount double check. He still do that?
I don't know. I think he left that in Green Bay.
Oh, he probably got life insurance now and all that. He getting
That's
old.
something like that.
He
Yeah.
getting old now. I think they will upset the Steelers. If the Steelers offense plays the way they've been playing, I see an upset coming.
I wouldn't even call it an upset. I like the Texans more than the Steelers.
But if the Steelers somehow find a way to win, we can take it back to 10 years ago again and do Broncos versus Steelers in the division.
We'll get into that in just a second, man. In just a second. Actually, you know what? That's a good segue. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Fuck it. Let's get into game 4. I call this a pseudo rivalry because these teams do not like each other whenever the fuck they play each other. It's always a different level of intensity to classic AFL teams, excuse me. And when the Steelers and the Broncos come together, it's some smash mouth football.
They be beefing like the Bloods and Crips. They take it serious. That's what I like. I like the smash nose football. We're going to get to it. The nitty gritty. That's what I like to call it.
The one thing that I lean on is that this game would be in Denver. And, of course, the Steelers have come in and beat us in Denver in the playoffs before, but not with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers historically does not do too well in Denver. So I'm curious to see how that would affect him at this age.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because once the defense got him flustered, he'd be having trouble. I remember the year he came to Denver when the no-fly zone was here.
Oh, that was an
Woo!
ugly game. They whooped his ass that
That
game, man.
statistically was like his worst game ever that he's had.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got to do
I
part
remember
two.
that. It was a Monday night game, was it not?
It's a Sunday night. Sunday night.
Sunday night. Okay, I remember it being prime time.
Yep.
People hyped it up. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers showdown, and the Broncos belt to ass that in whole game.
Straight belt. They couldn't do nothing offensively. I think he finished the game with like 75 passing yards.
Yeah, that's craziness. Well, he once again comes to Denver facing an elite defense. If this is the matchup, I wouldn't say not quite the no fly zone,
But we got dogs
but
in the secondary.
we got dogs in this. We got dogs all throughout the defense, and I think it's a good thing that we have the bye week because that gives people like Drake Greenlaw the chance to heal up. Because this defense is nasty when he's not on the field, but it's a whole different level when he's out there.
Yes, exactly. And we need Brandon Jones back as soon as possible, especially because we don't know what the injury time is looking like with PJ Locke. Hopefully he's back. If he's not going to be ready, there's one call away. You already know who to call. Come on. That's all I'm asking for.
That would be crazy if Justin Simmons showed up for a playoff run with the Broncos with our lack of safety depth right now. I could see it happening, and you know what? I could picture Sean Payton and George Payton having a trick up their sleeve. But one begs the question: Sean Payton is the coach that cut Justin Simmons. Is there some sort of weird rift between them that just wasn't working?
That's what I want to know because he was a captain on the team. So I feel like if anybody, if Sean Payton would have had a problem with, I would have thought it would have been like Kareem Jackson or something. I would have never thought it would be Justin Simmons.
Oh well, yeah. Kareem and Sean have verbally chirped at each other since their parting ways. I don't know, man. I've heard some chirpings that Justin Simmons may have been a bit of a diva in the locker room. And that Sean just wasn't putting up with it. But again, this is I can't confirm anything. I'm not in the locker room. I don't talk to these people. I don't interview these people. Wish I could, but that's a different story.
That locker room, that when he first came into here, I know it was bad because they were just letting them do whatever. And then
I mean, I ain't gonna say no names, that you have motherfuckers doing high knees on the plane.
yeah,
Bro.
there was no discipline. Somebody had their own personal parking spot or whatever. Fucking square.
Somebody's wife had their own personal parking spot.
He had a little office for himself. Downfall of the Broncos, but
yeah,
what they gonna say now? We back.
What they gonna say now? What's crazy? We still paying the motherfucker 30-something million this year,
and
we're
first seed,
number 1 seed. Yeah, fuck it. But all right, Reek. Now that we've talked about these playoff matchups between the Chargers, the Bills, the Texans, and the Steelers, of all our potential opponents in the divisional round, I want you to give me your most ideal matchup.
My most ideal matchup for us is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think us playing the Steelers will be perfect. They're not the strongest. They're not the best team, as you can see. They barely made it in winning Week 18. So I think out of all the teams, they might be the weakest link in my eyes. Don't get me wrong; they still got T.J. Watt, DK Metcalf will be back, but I feel confident knowing that we could beat the Steelers.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think that would be the most ideal matchup for the Broncos, would be to have the Steelers come to town. You have a statue of a quarterback who's gonna be facing a very heavy pass rush, and I can't picture it going well. One thing I will say is Mike Tomlin's gonna have his team ready.
Oh, definitely. He's
like they're gonna, if that's the case, they're gonna come in ready. It's gonna be a slugfest, smash mouth football like we were talking about, but it's going to take a miraculous performance from the Steelers on both offense and defense to get it done. And I just can't see it happening.
I can't see it either. Offensively, the way they've struggled, defensively, they've struggled as well. I just don't feel confident in them to come in here and beat us on our own field. I just don't see it.
We will go now and talk about who is your worst case scenario.
Houston. I think it would be great for us not to play Houston because they just been on fire at the end of the year, and I don't know what our offense is going to do against them when they match up, just because D'Amico Ryans is a great defensive coach, and he's gonna have them boys prepared. They're hungry.
They're definitely hungry, man, and defense wins championships.
They do.
If there's some way to go into an opponent's stadium and completely shut the crowd up, is to come in and lock down defense. And
They have one of those.
Texans can do that.
Yes,
Texans are very capable of doing that against anybody in the league, especially like if Bo comes in on an off game.
exactly. That's why I hope and pray J.K. Dobbins hurry up and gets back too, because our run game, it hasn't looked pretty. R.J. Harvey, he's doing what he can. When McLaughlin gets touches, he has sparks here and there, but J.K. Dobbins was our leading rusher for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And he was a big spark in the offense. He brought energy, and we're missing that right now. We need some of that.
Yes, we do. Desperately.
Well, just circling back, we both agree that the most ideal matchup for the Broncos would be the Steelers. And we both agree that the worst case scenario would be the Texans. The gap between the Steelers and the Texans isn't much. I'm gonna be honest.
You're not lying.
So like that says a lot. Like that's I circle back to what I said, last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever the hell I said it, that there's no team that can't beat any other team in this AFC.
It's wide open.
Yeah. And I think the only saving grace that we have is that people have to come to Denver.
Exactly. That's the biggest saving grace. Because had we lost the other day, it could have been bad, because we got to go.
We'd be playing this weekend.
Yeah, we'd be playing this weekend, especially with the injuries we have right now. So
that wouldn't be good. Well, I mean, we would at least get a home game, but got to handle business in the home game.
Exactly.
Well, that's about all the time that we got today. We thank you guys for joining us. We want to remind you to make sure to hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified every time there's a new episode. We do episodes weekly, man. We're on Spotify. We're working on getting on Apple Podcasts. We're not quite on there yet, but Spotify and YouTube is where we're at the moment. But I go by the name of Town. You can find me on all social medias except True Social. Fuck that shit. At town.5280. Reek, where can the people find you at, man?
Reek Season on Instagram. Come on, we need y'all to go follow on all the platforms. Once we get 100 subscribers, I'm trying to do a thing where I give out a jersey for free. Freezy.
Okay.
Because I'm just that much of a good person. So come on.
There you go.
Come on.
There you go. I like that. Well, we thank you guys again for joining us. For Tariq, for Town, for Life in a Barrel, for Broncos Country. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Life in a barrel. Life in a barrel. Life in a barrel.